Yeah, so once you hear that song, it is sporting session with me, El. And our venue only one, that is Keelan Phillips. Who I went and watched play yesterday. And the game is getting a little quicker for you over there, Keelan.
Yeah, but it still has 10, 8, and 4. So a little
Oh, okay,
same.
okay.
A little
Well,
same. It's a little same.
you were playing against Warrens. Warrens haven't won again since Obama was president. So,
Okay, and I can only play who in front of me.
okay, all right, good, good, good. All right. So you know that we missed a week because they only had two games in that week. It was a
Yeah,
short week.
yeah.
They had
Mm-hmm.
Good Friday and then you had Easter Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no games played Easter Sunday. So they only had two games for that week. So what we did was combine that two games with the rest of for this week.
Yeah.
And which ended yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and Sunday. And so we just go quickly through the games because I really want to talk about the last two games that we watched yesterday.
Yeah.
So on the first, we had there's a Celtics beating up on
Uh,
Finlands.
Pointless. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that was 98-74. And
Mm-hmm.
then we had a really good game between the Bulls, Burger King, Tampa Bulls, and the Fusion Beauty Station Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Bulls won 89-86.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there should be a little concern, but I will keep that to myself. Um, then the Bears tried to keep their the relegation hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
Or relegation, or trying to avoid relegation, I should say. And they beat the Tridents 81-64.
Was it 4? Yeah.
Then the Cavaliers, after Lakers started really well,
Yeah.
just turned on the burners and blew Lakers out the building. And by 26, 106-80.
Yep.
Then the Celtics came back and won 12-72 against Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So Warriors really knew that they were going down.
Yeah.
And there's some things that are really funny that I see really funny in basketball. Some arguments that I hear people come with. And I always say, anytime you come with an argument about schoolboys and schoolboys not being as good as this and as good as that, I understand that you really don't understand what's going on in basketball,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you really want to keep the schoolboys in so that they can keep a high level of play. You don't put schoolboys inside a tournament to win the tournament. You put them to compete, to develop, and they lose games, but they were getting better,
Yep.
right? And that is probably one of the youngest teams they ever see play with the schoolboys,
Oh, it is one of the youngest teams
right?
out of it.
So,
So,
the arguments, all the other arguments to me don't really hold water.
yeah.
From the beginning, you know that the schoolboys were exempt from relegation, and your job is not to just beat the team that coming up. Your job is to actually try to compete for a title. And if your job is only to beat the fellas that coming up, then you deserve to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And I will leave it right there. And whatever conclusion you want to draw those. But it really, and just put it there out there. Then we have Bulls playing Pinelands. Bulls beat up Pinelands by 30,
Mm-hmm.
94-64. Then we had Sunday. This
Sunday,
was
yeah.
fairly interesting. Pinelands beat the Tridents. That's 78-60.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls play around. I watched that game, some of that game. Play around with the Warsaw Stars. 107-85.
Mm-hmm.
And then two games came. The two games. That
Yeah.
was game 3 and game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 was the Lakers versus the Bears.
Yeah.
So that was like a final because the team that lose
We're getting
automatically be
relegated.
going down.
Yep.
And it so happens that when the dust was settled, the game was very close up to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But when the dust settled, the Lakers came out 71-61.
Mm-hmm.
I can let you go first. What are you talking about the game, Eli?
Yeah. I thought, as you say, it was a close game up until the end of the fourth, but it was a back and forth game. I think there was a point in that third quarter, I think, where I think Bears was up 3 and I think had a chance for like a open layup and miss. And instead of going up 5, then no Lakers came back, and then we obviously know what happened to end the game. But two things from either side. Lanks, Tyreek Harewood, him coming back made, I think, the biggest difference, because I actually don't think Lakers win if he does not play. And he didn't even really have that good of a game. Like, he missed some wide open layups that he should have made, but still had 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Right. So that was good, at least for thing having a big man presence, because most teams don't really have that big man. And on the Bears side, if there was a game that Mark picked to play by, this was the worst one. I thought Mark had a phenomenal season, but this game, he shoot 4 of 21. He had 11 points and 13 rebounds, but Winters, he showed up. He had 32 points. He had nine boards. And even he could have played just slightly better, but I'm not gonna hold any the critique for Winters. 32 points and 9. You can't really complain, but Super Akeem Williams also going 0 of 12. I'm trying to find the yeah. That's not gonna do it. So your second and third leading scorer combined 4 for 33. That in an elimination game, in a 10-point game, like, that's it right there. Right. So I thought those were the two factors for both of the teams. What do you think?
I look at it slightly different.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then tell you what,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have any inside information. I'm not in any groups with anybody. I'm
Mm.
just talking strictly from what I saw there and
Mm-hmm.
looking at the rosters from both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Bears basically only got 3 scores.
Correct.
It is Winter, um, then there's Mark Bridgman,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's on any given night anybody else. So they
Mm-hmm.
basically got 3 scores.
Mm-hmm.
Then to me they outplayed their their like skill,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think they played better than a lot of people thought they would play, but
Mm-hmm.
it just happened that they come the year where two
It
teams
had two teams getting on.
right.
Yep.
But they had three, three scores.
Mm-hmm.
I could not get understand why Lakers have. Well, Dijon Hunt, he is probably if he does some more work and stuff, he could be up there with Darren and Simeon,
Mm-hmm.
right? He could shoot three, he could guard his position.
Mm-hmm.
He still need to like understand the court a little bit better, but to me, he's one probably a solid point guard that Lakers they want him for a real long time.
Mm-hmm.
He don't turn over the ball, and he does a solid job,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then there's Tariq Earwood Lanks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have probably the best shooter in the island in Keith Burkett.
Mm-hmm.
And you have one of the hardest working people, although he was hurt coming on the end of the season in Primus Warren,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those 4 players,
Also got Rook too.
well, I ain't done yet. Those
Mm-hmm.
4 players alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you add somebody like Brandon Rook who defends his position and can hit a tree. And once he's engaged, once Rook is engaged,
He attacking the
Rook
basket.
is
Yeah.
a good basketball, a brilliant basketball player. You can win games with Rook. I cannot understand why it came down to you trying to save relegation with a team that now come up that got
Mm-hmm.
three scores and basically 2 Premier League players, 2 proven Premier League players,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can say Super is a proven Premier League player because he played before,
Mm-hmm.
but for sure Mark and for sure Winter, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
turned up in the season. You see, trade them turned
Yeah.
up in the season. I couldn't understand why Lakers is still trying to. Well, a team with that sort of nucleus going in a season should be thinking that they're going to make some noise in playoffs, not
Mm-hmm.
trying to save relegation from playing the team that come up.
Yeah.
I can't get that understand. And I'm not even finished. It's not only players, but then you got like you got a coach in Derek Brown who has national team experience,
Mm-hmm.
and they know he knows his basketball. You got Bakari who is coming up, but he knows his basketball too. And you have Corey Shepard, who I don't know if he's still working with the older people, but he is one of the coaches as well. They have coaching, they got players. What is that they're trying to struggle with Bears to stay up? That's the question they're gonna ask themselves. And they're gonna be honest when they're answering that question.
Yeah.
Don't tell me injuries. Don't
Mm-hmm.
tell me injuries, because everybody have injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers main player was out. That was Devron. And
Mm-hmm.
he come back Gimpy yesterday and he still do his thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying don't make any excuses.
Yeah.
I would like Lakers to get better so that the tournament will be better all over,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they think you can have 6 teams. So if you have 6 teams and 5 of the teams are good and then only got the schoolboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I I think it'll be a better tournament than having 3 teams, right? And then the other 3 teams also around. You know, any given night, then teams they just get blown away,
Yeah.
right? So that was that from the Bears and the Lakers. Then the top game of the night was the Celtics versus Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep harping it all the time. Cavaliers is not a bad basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
But Cavaliers they're always in shape. They play hard or defensively, right? They do what they do well. The problem to me in this instance is they do not have enough scoring to beat Bulls or to beat Celtics. Bulls, I know Bulls waiting to turn it on in playoffs, and they hope that they really turn it on. But Cavaliers, I I would not convoke Cavaliers in any series, but I just don't think they got enough scoring. I watched it last night, and for them to beat the Celtics, they will have to have phenomenal games. Like,
Every game.
yeah, Thing would have to score 30 points, average 30 points in the series. That was Devron. And
Mm-hmm.
Phillips got to average like 25.
Mm-hmm.
And the others got to be able to come and contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think they will be able to do that. They got to play almost perfect game to beat Celtics. Right? I think that I I also think they got to play a perfect game to beat Bulls too, but I feel right now I would give Celtics the odds-on favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that because to me they're bored. They look bored. Like like they're running their stuff, they're getting the shots. It look inevitable. They're waiting for the playoffs day. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Really, just to get this thing over with.
Mm-hmm.
So they look a little bored to me. But they're playing well, they're playing fluent. And sometimes I think what happens is that it's getting to a point where everything is working so well, they just decide that they can start doing rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they start turning over the ball and doing that sort of stuff. But when they're locked in, you can see like at the beginning of that game, you can see the ball flowing, the ball working. Cavaliers could not get a good shot off,
Yeah.
right? And they really look like the team that should win the tournament, but they don't win tournaments by court in session. People talking about them. Games play out on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really decent game. I just don't think Cavaliers got enough to beat the Celtics. Uh, they will have to play a near perfect game, right? But never say never.
It's true.
Never say never, because once you're in, anything can happen.
It's true.
You only gotta play 2 good games.
It's true. They ain't in the NBA where go win 4 or 7.
Yeah, you only gotta play 2 good games. Two
Yeah.
good games and story done.
Yep. At
Right.
least for the
So
finals, yeah.
right. But now the standings is the one that now start to look familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's happened is I think Cavaliers and Bulls switch places, but They're still gonna meet the one another in semifinal.
Nah, as it currently stands, well, Cavs still in second.
Yes,
Um, Bulls in
I mean
third.
I
Yeah.
talking about from last year.
Oh, for like yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
So
they
they
still
just
got
switch
play.
positions. So now Cavaliers will still play Bulls in the semifinal.
Yeah,
And
playing a Lakers
finals
switch positions. I think
and
Pine was
yes,
fifth
and
last
finals
year.
Lakers switch position.
Yeah.
So so finals will play Celtics. That will be a very short series.
Hmm.
And the interesting series will be Bulls and Cavaliers, and then the winner will play Celtics.
Yeah.
I would not put my net out on any of them. I don't think finals could be Celtics. I don't think they can come close. So
Yeah.
they just don't
Yeah.
got the manpower. Them is that one team that ain't got the manpower to stay.
Yeah.
So the quality, should I say? So I just think that they did really well to be fourth,
Hmm.
and that should be the highlight of their season.
Correct.
Um, and Celtics will take them out, and Cavaliers and Bulls will play to the death. Whoever
Hmm.
play better will win and go to the final.
Hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to the playoffs. I can't wait. Um, I really want to see how Celtics if Celtics going to take this home or if they're going to stumble again. I don't think they should. There's a couple of things though that I saw. Brandon Brewster hurt his knee,
Yeah.
so and it looks pretty bad. So he might be out, and he is a good he's a good spark off the bench.
Hmm.
So he that would be a loss for them. But
Hmm.
they are playing so fluent and so free and so I don't think his loss it will be a loss, yes, but I don't think it will be that catastrophic. Um, um, there need some people would need to step up. I think Jared Allen should step up. He needs to. To me, he's the next one. He like Lanks. I don't know how invested in game he is, um, but he is also very good. He is a. I remember he was playing with the Spartans and he was leading the league in shot block in
Yeah.
one shot. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is a good shot blocker, right? Um, the Celtics is player. The way the Celtics is player, I don't know if that is the ultimate for his skill set.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. Um, to me, he's not a consistent from 3 point line. I should, but he's still a very good rebounder and he's still a very good shot blocker. Once he brings that to the table, then should be fine. Who else come out? I think Gibbs coming off their bench.
Yeah.
Um, who else?
I think Anan was hurt, but I don't.
Yeah,
He might be back for the
the
playoffs.
playoffs. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
I have Celtics as the odds-on favorite. I
Hmm.
had them for the odds-on favorite last year too, but I was wrong. So we'll see how that one goes. I am not counting out Cavaliers. I'm not counting out Bulls. Um, well, I'm sorry. I apologize
you
to.
caught out
Listen,
you caught out Pilots. You caught out
listen,
Pilots. You
I
caught out
apologize to
Pilots.
Carl Thorpe and Ronaldo and Carl Thorpe Senior, but these my guys. But I calling up I calling up
Yeah.
pointless.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
But the other three, it just takes player who got at the right time,
Yeah.
and you could be a champion. So what do you think? What do you think? I expect you to say that Bulls gonna be Cavaliers, right? I don't expect you to say Bulls are gonna be close either. But
Obviously,
I,
but
I watch I watch Cavaliers play and I watch Bulls play. I'm not convinced with the Bulls. The Bulls ain't convinced me yet.
mm,
Um, so I go away and see when I see them playing in the first game of playoffs. Then I
yeah.
would know. I'd be able to have an idea as to how they will do. But
Mm.
right now, to me, they're not convincing. They have not convinced me that they are like in the same sort of mode and shape that they were in like last year.
Mm.
Last year, to me, when they played Cavaliers, it was like to me, even if it went three, you have Bulls penciling as getting for them.
Mm.
I'm really sure he could do that now,
Mm.
right? So the got some enigmas in Barrett's basketball that I watch, and some real
Mhm.
talented guys that that you think that should be better than where they are. right? Tariq Lanks, Yearwood is one for me.
Mm.
Um, Jared Allen is another one for me. Mark Kelly Downey, right? I don't. Mark Kelly got so many. He has so many good things about his game. To me, he should be scoring like 20 or 30 points. He should score 20 points easy in a game, right?
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I understand when you switch teams and you're playing for a new team for the first time. You gotta get accustomed to the man. You gotta get accustomed to who can
Mm.
pass the ball in. Blah blah blah. You gotta get accustomed to positions and thing. But you can't forget how to shoot. You can't forget how to pass. You can't forget how to rebound, and you can't forget how to play deep.
Mm.
Right? Uh, Khalil Austin was giving Downey stress. Right? I mean stress. And if Khalil,
Ah.
I'm not saying anything about Khalil. Khalil can shoot the basketball and he
Mm.
got good hand. He's left-handed. But what I'm saying is Khalil is playing with Warriors, right? You could double him. You could double off of him. You could, force him to go right. Although he goes right well sometimes.
Yeah.
You could force him to go right. You could do, but to me, he was playing defense too standard too straight,
Mm.
and he
Mm.
was getting blown by all the time. And then, well, then it became a thing.
Yeah.
Like I want outdo one another, and then it start getting to be a thing. But by that time, again, the finish and Buzz is just ready for the last whistle to blow so they could go off court, so they could go off court. But
It's true.
but yeah, so but I would like to see three of those players, right? Really put in some effort. I mean, and some work.
Mm.
Listen, they would make basketball be so much better with the three of them at the top of their games,
Mm.
right? I mean, you got Jared like blocking shots and running the floor and dunking the
Mm.
ball and playing good D. You got Lanks on the inside really working, and in good shape and being able to guard. And then you got Downey who could play like 4 or 5 positions, right? He can
Mm.
handle the ball, he can shoot the ball, and he's worked relatively hard. He was one of the people in the on 23 team in the on 23 elite on the 23
And
team.
yeah.
Yeah, that he was a standout in one of the camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he can play. It's just to me, I don't know if it is, life has happened because
Mm.
there's an amateur sport, and life has happened, and when life happens, you just gotta like, you know,
Yeah.
you just
We
gotta
got
adjust, right?
yeah.
So I mean, like I see where like players, you'll see players, um, like fall off a little bit, especially as they start getting older. Not that they're old,
Mm.
but again, older, the priorities are different.
Mm-hmm.
They got different mindset, that sort of
Yep.
stuff. But
Yeah.
I understand that can happen. But if they trade those players, right? Lanks has overseas experience. We know Jared is a shot blocker. We know that Mark Kelly could play like 3 or 4 positions, right?
Mm.
And if you could get those 3 guys really coming up and playing good basketball, it'd be good for the league. It'd be good for the league, good for Barbados. And, I just feel so in my heart. But I am really ready for the Final Four.
Mm.
So I'll be there watching the Celtics and the Finals, Celtics on fair Finals,
Mm.
and Cavaliers and Bulls playing, like playing to the death. But I know that
Mm.
that series is going to be like a war.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that series is going to be war. And I think the winner is going to be the fellow who execute going on the stretch
Mm-hmm.
and who is better prepared for, um, for the team that is facing. So I feel
Yeah.
if Cavaliers, I said them to try some things last night, which was interesting.
Mm.
I want to see if they can export some more. Um, Bulls, I don't call it Bulls. They can anything with Marsh and Simeon,
Mm.
Raheem, right? Andrew Eiffel. You got to really say, well, look, these boys going to play the hard out, and when you have to beat them, they will not beat themselves, right? So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that series.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So of course, we do our thing. At quarter session, we always have a little, birdie. So yeah, so we had the games from the 1st of April right down to Sunday, and we had a player of the week. And the player of the week for that period was none other than Darren Hurley. Darren had 64 points, 28 assists, and 21 rebounds
Mhm.
in 3 games. The Celtics went 3-0, and he is court in session player of the week.
Mhm.
And just to let him know, he will not be getting anything. It's just get
Mhm.
kudos from court in session. It
Mhm.
was a good week for him. He played really well,
Yeah.
and we extend our congratulations to him and taking his team to 3-0.
Mhm.
That is Darren Hurley of the Celtics.
Mhm.
Right. So up next, the Bajan Scout Alan Pinder. And Alan Pinder, the Bajan Scout, joins us. Alan, but you know the NBA segment, and we were the NBA man, so we go straight to you all the time with the NBA stuff, right? The first thing, the brackets for the playing, well, the brackets for the playoffs, playing the whole thing. Um, Let me take a look at it. I see 9 in the West. Let me start with the West. And ninth and 10th is Golden State, and that's Clippers.
Yeah.
Yep. And the
And
Clippers
then
for 9.
yeah, and then 7, 8 is Blazers and
Suns and the
Suns.
Blazers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me start talking about who going forward. Who going forward in the West?
Yeah, I think the Suns will get that 7th spot. So I think that should lock them in there. And I think the the Clippers will probably play the Blazers for that 8th spot. And I think the Clippers should probably get that 8th spot.
So
I mean they
seventh according to the Bajan Scout Alan Pinder. Seventh is Suns. Eighth is Clippers. Oh, you
yep.
there, Keelan?
Um. Yeah. I more so tending or leaning towards that. Um. Even though it wouldn't surprise me if the Trailblazers were to clip the Clippers. Sorry, gotta put that in there. But I it wouldn't
You great.
surprise me.
You thought that all by yourself, didn't you?
All by myself. All by myself. But yeah, I'll just say whenever it is basically a one game, right? Anything could happen in a one game. So with this playing and Clippers having to go through 2 games to get through. That's the unfortunate thing because they had lost a game, I think a recent game against the Trailblazers that would have maybe put them in that 7-8 bracket as opposed to the 9-10. So they would have only had to win one game. So it's always tricky when you got 2 games, but we hope Kawhi has been playing this season. Garland has looked decent when he has come back. I think Kawhi could carry you for at least those 2 games, and then at least you get any playoffs. So yeah, I think it's Clippers and
Everybody agree
Suns.
that the West is them two. Let me
Yeah.
look at East playing then. Miami and Hornets and 76ers and Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Hornets should be able to dispatch of the Heat and being that spot there for that'll be for the 8th speed. But yeah, I think it's a little bit weird. Philly and the Heat, to me, that could really go either way. But I don't know. I think I'll probably go Philly for now. Hopefully, if Embiid is probably healthy a little later on, that will help. But yeah, the Magic that's really up and down right now. I think Philly will most likely get that 7th spot. Then I think Hornets then should get that 8th spot when they play the Magic then in that elimination game.
Okay, what about you? Can you face too?
Um, in terms of that for the Magic, 7-8, yeah, Magic just lost to the G League Celtics, and hey guys, don't even think of that as this. I hear a Celtics man, so so that was the G League Celtic. So that one that was not an encouraging win if you are sorry, an encouraging game if you are a Magic fan, but um yeah, 76ers, they should be good. Paul George is back now. Yeah, so they should win that. And then Hornets, these one games is always thing. But me, okay, what I would like to see the Hornets get it. Honestly, I would like to see the Hornets beat the Heat and then deal with the Magic. Then the Hornets end of this second half of the season has been really, really good. All things considered for the Hornets. So I would like to see two of them. But it wouldn't really surprise me, if Magic maybe, because they could lose one game and then win the other one and still get through. That's the quote unquote good thing of being in that 7-8 thing. So it's very possible that it could be 76ers Magic, but I would like 76ers Hornets go through.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't ever sleep on the Heat. The Heat somehow is, when playoff time comes, them is like it's turned to a different team. So we'll see though. All right. So then let me go back to so let me go back then to the let me go back to the West. So then who will be if would be Clippers.
The Clippers, yeah.
So Clippers will go OKC. And then it means that San Antonio will have Suns.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Suns.
Right. So I expect that the high seed will take care of those people.
Yeah.
Lakers and Rockets.
I think though there is a very outside chance, I don't know, that the Clippers might be able to ruffle this OKC a little bit. It should not happen, but I still think Clippers are this dark horse team that could potentially do something crazy.
How outside you mean like far outside? You mean like outer space outside or what outside you talking about? I trying to figure out where it's outside you mean, right?
Space, but still within Earth's gravity, they could still, get
yeah. Okay.
So
all right. Okay.
We'll see.
I would say there might be a game or two, but if the OKC, that would be the biggest NBA history, wouldn't it?
It would be upset.
Yes, considering a team was 6-21.
That's what I mean. 6-20 something. Number one seed, that would be
defending champs.
NBA history.
Yeah, that really would be NBA history. So
okay, so then we got Lakers and Rockets.
Yeah.
I'm a Laker man, but I don't think you get past the Rockets.
No injuries, I think.
Yeah, not the injuries either. I think that Luka and Austin Reeves being out, that's gonna be if by some medical miracle, like Luka come back by game 3, 4, and the series is 1-1, then because Austin Reeves, as far as I know, his injury is worse than Luka. Like, he's hurt about the hamstring, but like that injury that he got is one that I think it was last year when Paolo had got it, and then he was out for a long time, and then when he was starting to come back, Franks won and then got it, and that's been like 6 weeks or something that they were out for a while. So that injury is nothing to play with.
Both those injuries are already medium to long term injuries.
Yeah, and playoffs is be high intensity. And to just be off of that long layoff and then jump right back in.
All they do is re-injure themselves.
Yeah, there's a high possibility.
Rockets are physical too. So
yeah, very physical too. They could sing a bunch of defenders at Braun. Yeah, it would be a very tall task. If Lakers was to beat if 41-year-old Braun win this, I feel like there's no debate that he's the greatest athlete that's list if he was to win that. Yeah, it's really not looking different. And just a quick side note, if you know the history, next a very important subplot: Clint Capella versus DeAndre Ayton.
Oh,
yeah, you remember the I said it.
I know what's subplot that could be.
Oh, so on Twitter, like there was a game like after a game, DeAndre Ayton said like it was basically like, oh, I ain't no Clint Capella, right? In terms of his role and thing, right? Which is funny because everybody was like, well, the Lakers could use a prime Clint Capella right now. Like Clint Capella would actually be good. So they didn't really get the response that he wanted or the take that he really thought. So that should be a little interesting, especially because Clint Capella responded and said, you got two of the best playmakers in the NBA now. Like, what you really complaining about, right? so there's a lot of inside stuff in terms of that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Denver and Timberwolves. Alan, you agree that Rockets will get past Lakers, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Denver and Timberwolves.
I guess that we're trying to run from these Timberwolves the last couple of games of the season. Where they were running from.
Still end up being there.
Yeah, so end up being there. So I think this could be a prime upset too. I mean, Nuggets have been looking very good, but their defense still hasn't clicked.
Yeah.
If their defense doesn't quite click, and they're essentially still trying to get by on that offense, I think this could be. I mean, it's not really that big of an upset because the records aren't that off, but
yeah,
I think Wolves could definitely be in play here. I think there might be a reason why they don't want to see the Frenchman. Man, but you'll see.
All right, and what about and then there's San Antonio and Suns. I think San Antonio got that.
We skimming over that. We're not even worried about that. Like that, we dealing with the matchups that could possibly mean something. That 2-7, 1-8, yeah.
So then Rockets we got OKC.
Yeah.
And Spurs will have according to you all the Timberwolves.
Well, no, I didn't say that. Like if it was to pick, I would still pick Nuggets, but it wouldn't surprise me. The Timberwolves is one of those teams that were in a way like a couple of years ago when they beat them in the conference finals. Like the Timberwolves is one of those weird teams that are built to beat a particular team. Like the Knicks last year, I feel were built to beat the Celtics, but not necessarily built to win overall. And I think that's what the Timberwolves were that year. Like they were built to beat the Nuggets, but then they struggle against OKC. Yeah, some of the games were close still. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Timberwolves beat them. But as a Spurs fan, I'm hoping that the Timberwolves beat Nuggets because that Nuggets team is could be a bit of a problem for the Spurs. Timberwolves could also be an interesting matchup for the Spurs. Like some of the matchups that they had in the regular season were some fairly good games. So either one could be a matchup, but as a Spurs fan, I would definitely prefer Ant over Embiid in terms of dealing. Sorry, Ant over.
Although as a Spurs fan, you could have put the Nuggets in the other side of the bracket if you
really
wanted
to. Don't even get me started on that. I'm very annoyed at the Spurs. But it is what it is. But I'm very annoyed. I feel like you could have.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are trying to tell them that they're afraid of them. That might be a come back to haunt them.
That's cool because like you could have just had the Timberwolves on, not the Timberwolves, the Nuggets on the other side. The Nuggets get through. Yeah, they get through. Like they could potentially clip OKC, like and then two of them beat up on each other for 7 games. I don't care, and then but it is what it is. You gotta play.
Okay, so then we will got a combination of. Okay, so we got the 4 basically on the West.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the East now. Boston will have what you say 7.
Boston will have 76ers.
76ers.
Yeah. They should have Philly comfortably, I think.
Right. And
I should go ahead.
Detroit would have
Hornets.
You really think Detroit won't play Hornets?
I feel like Detroit won't play Magic, but I feel like Detroit don't. I feel like honestly, Detroit don't really care who they play. I feel like that, or at least that's the mindset that it seems that they are going with. Either one, I would still pick Pistons over either one of those teams. Magic for sure. I think Pistons might sweeten them. Hornets might make some of the games a little bit more interesting, but I think Pistons are good enough, especially with Cade coming back. With Cade back, no, sorry. I feel like Pistons should take care of either one of those teams. The 76ers and Celtics one is a bit different, though.
Yeah. Okay, so then you have the Knicks and the Birds. Atlanta.
Well, hold on, just on that one, I think the Hornets are primed to potentially upset the Pistons, though. So I think similar to how I think the Clippers could do some serious damage, I think the Hornets could do potentially some serious damage. So I would not be surprised if that happens there. But again, kind of left field.
I really feel
Yeah.
that the Hornets might go home upset, really. But anyway, since you say so, then I go you're the NBA man, I go you. All
Wait,
right,
hold
so
on.
then we got
Wait, but even before you go to the 3-6, I think that Celtics 76ers matchup, if Embiid is healthy, could be interesting. I think that 76ers matchup I think because the center is one of the weaker positions for the Celtics, and that's not even saying that it's bad. I think that I just never pronounced his name properly. It began with Q.
Even.
Yes, him. I think he has had a good season, but dealing with
Yep.
Embiid is a lot, right? So if Embiid is healthy, that could pose an interesting. If Embiid is not healthy, yeah, then the Celtics got that pretty easily. That's the only thing that I would add.
all right,
Yeah.
so then we have the 3 and 6 is Knicks and the Birds.
Uh-huh.
And we figure the Knicks could get above the Birds.
I think they
Yeah,
should.
they should, but I won't be surprised if it goes 6. Like that game 5 or game 6 is like interesting one. Is like, oh shoot, can the Hawks send them to game 7? Like that won't be so that one shocked me.
And then the Cleveland versus that's Toronto.
Raptors, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Cavs will take.
I think Cavs should take care of that fairly
Well,
easy.
I just be a little weary of like holding Cavs in the playoffs. If this was a regular season game, I'd say that was sure.
Yeah.
But for the playoffs, but we'll see. So then it will be if everything goes well, then Pistons will play Cavaliers, and Knicks will play Boston.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Another one of those things that I had talked about last year, Knicks being matching up well against Celtics. But I think by that time, I think Tatum, because he's slowly progressing, getting better. This is a side note about Tatum that I think has gone under the radar. Like, if you had said like Tatum came back and he was like not playing back to backs, which he's not yet, obviously. But he would play like 30 minutes a game, have some games anywhere that's between 20 to 25 minutes or whatever. We'd be like, that's cool. But he's came out and playing like 35 minutes, 40, like out the jump. He's been like good. Like in terms of like physically, like obviously some of the athleticism hasn't been there because he's slowly starting to build back strength there. But like he's been able to handle these minutes fairly well. Like it's been very impressive. I think his daughter should be everybody's daughter.
His daughter should get awards.
Yeah, like his daughter and Kawhi daughter, like they should both get awards because Kawhi being low key eligible for the All NBA awards when the 65 rule was made because of him, like that's kind of ironic. But but I think with Tatum slowly progressing, I think the Celtics should be able to take out the Knicks, but that could go 7-2.
So then we got Knicks versus who?
Oh, that Pistons and Cavaliers. This one is funny because I know the James Harden stinker coming. Like I know I can feel it all now. Like I can feel it from now. It's like this typical James Harden. But I feel like Cavs. It won't shock me if Cavs was set Pistons.
So it will be Cavs and Boston, and then
unless Alan. I think Alan might think different.
Yeah, I actually think
you don't think Cavs can get past Pistons.
But we're going back a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
The way I see it, this Knicks team is better this year than it was last year.
Fair,
matching up against a team that is weaker this year than it was last year, right?
I don't think they're weaker.
This team is stronger than it was last year.
Okay, not stronger, but I think Jalen Brown's. Okay, only the Drew Holiday, not the core things. I think
that was last year's team, you know.
I agree, but I think Jalen Brown's progression is more beneficial for the team than two of them. It might sound weird, but that's just my opinion. I think Jalen Brown progressing to this next level might make them more dangerous this year than last year. But that's just always but that's just my personal opinion.
Which
I
is
think it
fine.
could be wrong. Yeah.
Well, I would say he was the Eastern Conference. I think he was the Finals MVP when they won. So to me,
I think he's
like,
better now though. I think he's better now than he was then though. I think he's better than and I mean like Siakam won conference finals MVP, but would you be surprised if he had gone on like better after that?
no, but not to say he's not better, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
if he is like that magnitude better enough that overcome some of the other things that they lost. That to me, I will say they're a better team. Well, I still think this team is not as good as it was last year.
okay, fair.
And I mean, they've done it extremely well as they have. I don't think they should be able to beat this Knicks team this year. I think it's definitely better roster wise and it's playing a better brand of basketball,
Listen,
offensively and defensively. So I think the Knicks should be able to get past
Next is
that.
do next things though.
yeah, and
It
listen,
is true.
if
It
Knicks
is
had
true.
if Knicks had playing Warriors, I didn't pick any Knicks.
Like Knicks
Well,
got
yeah,
the perfect pathway to the finals. And
Yeah.
Knicks can just
Anyway,
find some way to
so
do it.
let me
yeah,
say, okay, let me say
this raw
everything
brackets
goes
will
to
diverge.
Yeah. Yeah.
without any major upsets. We would say, okay, well, Boston will play Cleveland in the final, or Boston will play
I would say Boston was
Pistons.
still. I would still say Pistons. I just say it wouldn't surprise me if Cavs was still upset. But
Okay.
I think is that gonna be Pistons versus Celtics on Knicks in that conference finals.
Okay.
No,
And then
if I pick Knicks, it means that Knicks gonna lose because them gonna somehow just find a way to lose. But if I pick Celtics, then that becomes more interesting because I think Celtics getting past Knicks means that they got to be clicking on all cylinders, and I think they would be praying to them beat the Pistons. So,
so you would say that so you would say that so what would be the best? The best would be OKC versus who?
oh, San Antonio, there's no
Spurs?
don't even ask me that question. Who else it could be?
Before we get it, basically, match will be OKC and the Rockets. And
Yeah,
OKC part should be the Rockets, pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
yeah, I believe so.
On the other,
Yeah.
it would then potentially that heavyweight fight between the Spurs and the Nuggets.
No, these pretty
Which
Timberwolves.
or
Okay, if it
the
is the
Spurs and the Timberwolves.
If it is the Timberwolves, yes, obviously, I think the Spurs can't get through. If it
Yeah.
is the Nuggets, yes, I still would pick Spurs. That was one I got that series got against 7 written all over it, in my opinion. I feel like that was one that could really
Okay.
go that distance, boy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I,
I can
I,
put
I,
everybody
I
in
would
spot.
probably go with Spurs. As I said, to me, that I would go and see how the Nuggets look in that first round. To me, how they look in the first round would determine to me if I think they Spurs.
I agree. Yeah, that's more thing.
All right.
Yeah. So to
So
me, depending on how they look in the first round, if they got that defensive intensity and they really, I mean, Team Wolves have not been a very good offensive team, but to me, if they
their
shoot,
defense, yeah, if they shoot
yeah, to
well
me,
too, yeah.
Yeah, if T Wolves haven't been playing well offensively, and now T Wolves that's like score high percentage and these high scoring games,
Yeah, that's probably
I can,
so.
I can be a little concerned about Bully Nuggets. But to me, if they manage to keep the T Wolves offense pretty subdued, then yeah, I think that could be a serious battle between them and the Spurs. So I got to see how the Nuggets look in that first round series against the T Wolves.
all right.
If they even if they
I,
get advanced.
so whoever happened, who coming out with best?
I know you asking Alan, because you got me asking me. You got me asking me.
I mean, naturally, OKC has the best look out of everyone right now, but I think, yeah, to me, the other side of the bracket with that 2 or 3, yeah, OKC naturally has the best chance, but depending on how the Nuggets look, I think the Nuggets have a good chance. Depending on how the Spurs look, I think the Spurs will have the third best chance to me. So I would say the OKC best chance, then the Nuggets, then the Spurs. Obviously, the Spurs have a lot to prove being a young team and seeing if they can really step with each other. So it's a lot of. It'll be a good first run. I mean, it'll be an amazing first run for the young guys if they could get NBA Finals in the first try. So that'll be a little bit unprecedented as it is. But again, they have an unprecedented player on that roster, so it's possible.
I just waited to see who we can play in the finals. Just
Uh,
let me get the East and see who we can play
so
in the
so
finals.
so who coming on the East?
Got the Knicks.
Um, who the Spurs gonna beat in the finals? Ah,
You may have a repeat of the in-season tournament championship.
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If when the Spurs get to the finals, it's funny enough, right? Also, the three teams there that I don't want the Spurs to face is actually the Knicks. I actually don't want to face them. I rather face Detroit or the Celtics. The
You,
Knicks, the
you
Knicks,
got bad dreams about Mitchell
the
because
Knicks present
I,
a real matchup problem for the Spurs. I'm not gonna lie, like the three times that we played them, one time we had to come back. I can't remember even if we played, but that was very early in the season, so it's hard to even take anything from that game. But the last two times that we played them, like that fourth quarter was problems for us, and then we just get like that. That was one of the losses in like when we went like 27-3 in 30 games, but our loss was a bad loss. And then we played, everybody played, but their size, like they're having those two bigs is a real problem for the Spurs. I can't remember even if we tried going Cornet and Wemby to try to counter Cat and Mitchell at the same time. But as far as I know, or maybe they was trying to withhold it if maybe it could be a matchup thing or whatever. But yeah, that Knicks. Give me Pistons and Celtics any day before. But but if for argument's sake, say that is OKC that comes out too. Which team do you think would? I think the Celtics might give OKC the best matchup if OKC was to get through. What do you think, Alan? If OKC was the um
I could see that, especially if Tatum is back up to full speed.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. As a Pacers fan, I have still have a weird affinity for the Knicks this season. Right, this is really quite odd, but I I think the Knicks are going to show a different gear. So I could be entirely wrong, but I think things are starting to click for them later on in the season, though, particularly the whole Cat Brunson pick a role. I think offensively, if everything's clicking, and Josh Hart was a 3-point shooter in the last couple of games of the season,
Yeah, I saw that too.
so like you really can't help off of him. But that's it. If all that clicks and you can't help off of him in the playoffs and everything click and they click at the right time, they could be a bit of a problem. Because remember, with those two wings that they have, they're supposed to be able to handle anything in the NBA, right? You have Anunoby
and Mikael.
Bridges.
Yeah.
So you got those two wings you could then put on OKC's two best players, and you know
Yeah.
you can then kind of you can essentially make do from there.
So
Yeah, I mean,
based on what you
you
say,
have to see.
Alan, you were saying that Knicks going to win the first NBA championship in 1973. That's what you're saying, right?
I am going outside of the box, and saying
So
the Knicks will
you
be
going
will be
outside
the
the box, outside the house, outside you going real
He
outside
ain't
the
even
planet.
he ain't even get older space. He get older galaxy.
So
Like
anyway,
still
so
within Earth's gravity, but I'm definitely outer space a bit. Yes, but
yeah,
Earth's gravity,
I
there's still a
they
chance.
got one fella in Barbados I know would be very happy to hear you say
oh,
that Knicks can
that
win
bro.
NBA
Oh
championship. That'd
gosh.
be there, bro.
Oh
There,
gosh.
bro, would be very happy to know that
Jesus.
Knicks can win. Yeah, but I just don't
No,
want
no,
to burst his
it's a
bubble. I don't
chance
think
still,
Knicks win
but
anything. Knicks can do Knicks
it's
thing.
yeah,
Knicks win what they'll have to win for the year.
the OKC Thunder is certainly still the favorites, but I still think there's always a chance that the Knicks are the
All right.
Knicks are there. Yeah. We'll see.
All right. So one body going Knicks, next body going OKC, maybe somebody going Spurs.
No. There's no maybe. It's first. Come on. Come on. What we
Spurs,
doing? What we
okay,
doing?
good. So,
Come on.
First, yes.
but some breaking news happened this week. They used to forget what the bracket now.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks. They fired Doc.
My dog, boy.
Actually, sorry. Technically, Doc he stepped down. He wasn't fired.
Yes,
Oh,
because
okay.
they still have to pay him right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he jumped. He wasn't pushed.
yeah. I think he can't really board out on he anyways.
There might be a gun behind him potentially, right? So he probably had to jump. But
Ah,
technically,
boy.
the records will show
I
he
hope
jumped.
that this is his last coaching job. After this, go and coach either on the 15 or college,
The 15.
I,
varsity or something.
yeah, but look,
I think this should be his last job. I did not like what he did. Is Griffin, right? As Adrian Griffin
Adrian Griffin
Yeah.
with the coach
was the
before,
coach. I
yeah.
didn't like what he did with Griffin. And you can't tell me that he didn't do that with Griffin. Because
He's special advisor.
yeah, because he was the advisor.
Yeah.
And the man had a winning record. And then you get rid of him and you get to Doc,
No,
who did
because
not have a winning record after that.
no, we can check this right.
Listen,
It's like the man was like, no, what we should do, and tell you thing, yeah, we should get rid of Adrian. I don't think he vibed when he lost home or whatever. And it may be just a little change. Like I feel like we can be a lot better. I mean, like, all right, Doc. So like, who we should get? Me, me,
look at
me,
my
dude.
resume. Look at
Hey,
my resume. I
hey,
can
look
say
at me,
get
dog.
people that ain't supposed to get playoffs. They
Are
playoffs.
they? Are they? I hear, dog. Come on, dog. Like, I got that championship or
Uh,
it, brother.
uh, although I will not absolve Giannis of some of the blame with this because I believe part of the issue
Yeah,
that Griffin had as well was that he had issues with the players, and it seems that the players definitely were throwing him on the bus a little bit, even though he had a winning record.
yeah,
And I think is he Don has a reputation of being a big players coach, and I think the players, it seems that Giannis was part of that whole thing where get rid of
Yeah,
this inexperienced guy. Let's bring the experienced guy,
but
So
but
the
look how that
ironic
turned
thing
out.
is that no, the same players that felt Griffin on the bus supposedly
Though, like,
felt
dog.
Dog on the bus too.
Yeah, because they there was a lot of I
and he been
think
over.
yeah, like I think not the mistaken, I saw a report. Obviously Doc tried to dismiss it or whatever. But there
Of
was
course.
I think something happened and Kyle Kuzma stepped up for a teammate in a team meeting. And then after that, like Kuzma got like a DNP, like coach of this in like next game, like he didn't play, right? And it's just I think Doc also said like my resume I basically he said like I got worse guys to the playoffs. And like I don't know, that's really not something that you should tell a team that is like in the playing not in the playing, like in the lottery. I feel like Doc knew that he was leaving because like it's always something with Doc. That's the problem. Like JJ Reddick didn't
It's never
lie.
his fault.
Like Jenny Reddick honestly didn't lie. Like and people, I know why Kendrick Perkins came to the defense of Dot because obviously that's he boy
That's his
Celtics
thing.
08 coach whatever. But I never seen a guy get so much mileage out of one title, and it's not like if this title was like he won with just Paul Pierce. He got at that time had to be like the second best power forward in the league and one of the best shooting guards in the league. Probably a top 5 shooting guard in the league still. And along with Paul Pierce, who was easily a top 5 small forward in the league at that time. So it's not like he just had some bad team and he did a miraculous coaching. And yes, he won, cool. But anybody would think Doc Rivers, the way how he started, got 4 titles. He just really milked out one title because this is by far the craziest quote I ever heard in sports. Then they were talking about the fact that he lost the 3-1 lead. And Doc said, and I quote, but I never get any credit for winning the first 3 games. Are you serious, Doc? You want credit for winning the 3 games, but you don't want none of the blame for losing 4 when you had a 3-1 lead and you lost 3 straight?
I
This
got him
man,
there at least. I said got 3 wins, I mean, come on.
oh my God, this man has the
Yeah.
most blown leads in series in history. 3-1, 3-2, game set. It don't matter.
Listen, I just feel right. I just feel that coaches get to the point where they outlive their usefulness.
Yes,
And I think he has outlived his usefulness.
correct.
It may not be it may just be the changing player sentiment. It may just be changing players, the different generation. You gotta be able to look and see, like survey the situation and see. Right now, anybody that coming out of college, one time I was a rookie because he had $0, right? Many come out of college now as millionaires. So
Yeah.
there's a different dynamic altogether when it comes to coaching in the NBA. Coaching full stop.
Mhm.
And I think Doc really, as you said, he milked that one title. His best coaching job though wasn't title winning, His best coaching job was
That
at
magic?
Orlando.
Yeah. When he
Then
got
he
that
had
one seed,
he had he had to follow the funny name that from England.
but he had T-Mac. Yeah, like
He had
when
Timac.
he
No,
yeah,
he had
he
Timac.
had T-Mac a year, but
Right, and a
because
fella,
Brian Hill
big
was
fella
hurt,
from
I think.
From
Yeah,
England.
like
Can't remember his name.
Something like that.
when they
The
went to
Michi
what
or
I
Michi,
can't remember, but
Joe
they went
Michi or
to
something.
I kind of
but
picture you talking about, but yeah.
Right.
they went up 3-1 on the one seed and then lost from there. That's the only 3-1 in which you don't really give you don't blame Doc for that one
He's the
because
underdog now.
he was the underdog in that one. So him
Right.
losing, but the thing is that when he talked about the winning 3 straight, he didn't even talk about that series. He was talking about like other series in which he was favored, like the South, like the Clippers and the other ones like that he was supposed to win. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
his
think
the
he'll
Magic
claim
was
his
the best one.
business.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
for sure.
the time has come for him to pack it in.
Yeah.
Um, I hear Darvin Ham name being thrown around for the Bucks job, but I think that
Oh
person
my God,
I think that person was just making fun of the
just
Bucks.
look, just get a new young coach, trade Giannis, get the assets, learn with the new coach, and then just get a high draft pick and just go on. Even though based on what Alan telling me for the next topic, he might never get that high draft pick.
Right. So and now that segues us into the last topic with the on the NBA. They're flattening the lottery odds, and I know that Alan went dig deep down to tell me exactly how these odds going to be. So let me hear you, Alan.
Yeah, essentially what they're looking to do is flatten your lottery odds because right now the bottom 5 teams have the best chance to get the top pick. I believe if you're a bottom 5 team, you probably have like a 50% chance to get one of the top 5 picks, something in that range. Essentially, what they're looking at is that they have the bottom 10 teams all have like 8% chance of getting the number one pick. So essentially, there's going to be no benefit to, in their minds, trying to lose as many games as possible because the bottom 10, you're all going to have the same chance. And then the other 8 teams outside that are also going to have a chance at the number one pick. I think it may be around a 2% chance or something in that range. So you have a situation right now where I think like a number 10 team has like a 2% chance, and you had teams like the Atlanta Hawks and the Mavericks moving up from that range to get the number one pick. So with this situation, you have 18 teams essentially in your lottery now. 18 teams have a chance to potentially get the number one pick. Again, this isn't ratified as yet. This is what they're potentially going to propose. So essentially, unless you're a top 6 team in each conference, once you're a top 6 team in each conference, essentially, once you're going to be in the play-in, you're going to have a chance for the number one pick. That's essentially what they're looking to do. So they want to flatten the odds to, in their minds, don't give teams an incentive to lose. That's essentially what they're proposing.
Okay. You go with that. You go with
So
that.
what you're saying is that if you see that you're not in the top 6, you could just stop training from earlier. You could just stop
No.
training. But you can just literally just stop training and not care because you know, like, oh well, I could be the 10 seed or the 15 seed or whatever. I can still have a chance at the number one pick. I mean, like, I could see. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I could see how they think a team might be like, all right, well, we can just keep trying to winning some games or whatever because we can still got a chance we think, but are they also looking at teams that literally we would not care and just be like, whatever. Like I this is you know who has to be really happy about this? The Miami Heat. Miami Heat have been like middling forever. Imagine now it's like we could be mid and possibly get the number one seed. Like we could play hard every game and still possibly get the number one seed. I don't understand why they trying to twiddle so much with the tanking or whatever. Because like you have you have like three examples of teams that okay, some luck was needed, yes. But like there were bad teams a couple years ago. I know they're the three teams that had 60 wins. Like OKC was bad a couple years ago. They now have this about 60 win team. Pistons 2 years ago, I had the record for the most losses, the most consecutive losses in like 29. Like we were tuning in to see if they were gonna get to 30. Like that's how bad it was.
Very
And
true.
I know I like the Spurs bad or whatever. Like, no, it does take it takes some luck. It does take some organizational drafting because I would say the luck for Spurs came for sure with Wemby and then a Harper moving up. But at the same time, you could argue Castle is one of their second most important player, but it's not like Castle was the number one. Three players were drafted ahead of Castle, which means that the Hawks, the Wizards, and I can't remember who the other team was, could have all picked him, right? So like that's not necessarily on you. That one is not one that you can say, oh, that's just like luck, right? For the Pistons actually haven't even gotten some of the luck in lottery. Like they had the worst record, I think maybe one or two of those years, and they got the fifth pick. So like I don't think there was really much of a problem with the tanking itself. I think the teams that are still bad are the teams that are just generally bad organizations. That's not tanking per se. That is organizations making bad draft choices and stuff like that. But like even the Wizards of late, they had some draft pieces. I know they're making a push with the Ahi Davis and the Trae Young trade. So like they eventually got some picks in the lottery, and then it's like, all right, cool. No, we think we got something. Now let me try to make a push. So like I didn't say there was nothing really wrong with tanking in the first place. Like it just, and it's not even just me saying it as someone who has benefited from it. Like there are other examples of teams who have like gotten things from it, and like even the Rockets had like the number three pick year in front. Like I generally don't think it's that big of an issue.
I
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think the issue is that tanking has been synonymous with losing, and it's like if a team is losing, it's just automatically saying that team is tanking.
I think
Like,
because we bad, by the way.
but that's what I'm saying, right? It's like teams aren't bad anymore. It's automatically assumed that if you lose a game, you're tanking.
Yeah.
Like for example, a few games ago, Doug Christie makes a bad coaching call. He intentionally fouls. He thought he
Yeah.
had a foul to give. He intentionally fouled. He intentionally fouled. I think Seth Curry
Yeah,
to
he
put them
went to the lane.
in a
Yeah.
close game. Right? They were coming back in that game. They were done. They were actually coming back and making the game close.
Mm-hmm.
He made a bad coaching decision, and that was portrayed as the Kings were tanking.
Yeah.
No, the coach made a bad coaching decision. They're
And the
not
Kings are
tanking.
generally a bad team. They're really a bad team.
And, yeah, that's it. I don't think they have. I don't think they have their draft pick, and they still lost.
Yes.
They still lost 60 games. You can look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans do not have their draft
Correct.
pick.
This
They
is
also
bad.
lost 55 games. They are not tanking. They just are bad. Teams that are generally losing aren't necessarily losing primarily just to get a draft pick. These teams are just losing generally bad.
Yeah.
I watched most of Indiana's games this year. I could promise you they were trying to win pretty much all those games. They were trying. They just were not good enough to win any of those games. And they lost a lot of those games close. I can only say maybe coming out to the end of the season is when they sat their players. But even if you have these flat lottery odds, what's the reason you're going to sit players? You're going to sit players if there's nothing to play for. guess what? Good teams do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the last couple of games of this regular season? A record number of stars were sitting out. Why? Because the OKC Thunder were tanking all of a sudden in the last two games of the season.
Correct.
No, there weren't really any games to play for. You're not going to expose your best players. Bad teams lose. You will probably still have a couple good players. If these games are going to be meaningless, you're eliminated from the playoffs. Why you're going to expose your best players and make them play come down the stretch? Why would the Spurs have played Wemby the last 10 games of the season, 30 minutes a game, when there's nothing to play for? Why would the Pacers play Pascal Siakam 30 minutes a game in the last 10 games of the season when there's nothing to play for? You could potentially expose an injury. It doesn't really make any sense. So that's usually what teams are doing. They're trying to rest the players and trying to protect the players for various reasons. So yes, I understand there is a concern with trying to make sure teams aren't trying to lose to get the draft picks, but the main reason, I think that is more of a secondary thing. The main reason these teams are losing is essentially that they're bad. I think there are other things they can do to curb your tanking a little bit, particularly draft pick protections and limit some of the stuff they can do with that. But yeah, I think flattening these odds are going to have, I think this is going to put pressure on the plane because teams are going to have to make a decision now. Do I want to go into the plane or do I want to try and buy in the bottom 10? Because mathematically, buying being the bottom 10 is still gives you higher odds.
Yep.
And the math is the math, and the guys are going to go in the math. So they're going to make a decision. Should we go toward the plane or should we try and get in the bottom 10? And guys are going to try and get in the bottom 10. No, that's all. So you're just moving it from going from the bottom 5 where maybe about 6 or 7 teams where the bottom 10, you have about 14 teams trying to get there now.
Let me see more teams tanking though. Tanking.
I have a feeling that the problem came in the way that Utah was losing, but I'll keep that for another time.
That was funny, by the
way. I think that's the way that the losing was the problem. Right. So usually, we have pick 5, and obviously the regular season is now over. So there's no pick 5, but there is the pick 5 winner. And drum roll. Pick 5 winner with 67% of his picks. The Avenger only won.
It could have never be anybody else. Who else it could have been? It could have only been me. The champ is back.
Yes. So that was the pick 5.
You know who won the battle for second place?
No, we were not going there because then somebody would come third.
guys, if y'all just want any predictions, whatever, just check me.
Okay, all right. You just take it easy. Right. So, and on this night, we would like to call game. Tell me who you will call game on. Let me start with Keelan.
I went first last night.
Okay. All right, go you.
Come on.
Right. Well, call game on Mr. Halliburton. He started playing 5-on-5 this week. So he's making some good progress. So unfortunately, we won't be having any more of these short signs this postseason, but next year potentially. So call game one on Halliburton. Sorry about 5-on-5. First time since June last year.
Whoa. What about you, Keelan?
Yeah. So I think it was a time in front. They won good and they won bad. They can be real quick. So I can start with the good, Kawhi. I call game on the Kawhi for playing 65 games after everybody kind of thought that, is it be another season that he can break down or whatever. He plays 65 games. He is now eligible for the all NBA teams. And despite the fact the rule was made for him in terms of the 65-game rule, I know he can play. That's one. That's the good part. The bad that I call game on is the New York Yankees because we start out 8-1, and now we are currently like 8-7 or 8-6. So you in 1 week or 2 weeks, you can go from the top of the world to just being and you got 162 games of these, by the way. So I call game on the Yankees for just getting all Yankee fans' hopes up again. And then they coming right back down. And then what can happen again? They can raise right back up during the season because we can get shot again. And then in the playoffs, we will lose.
Okay.
on
Well,
there.
I'm not that dramatic.
Ah.
I calling game on the 4x4 team of Barbados 4x4 on the 20 men's team.
Mhm.
At the recent Rifta games,
Mm,
Grenada.
mm, yeah.
Um, those young men broke the record for that has been there for 13 years or so.
Mhm.
And not only that, the ankle leg for the 4x4 was one of the athletes that did really well at the SAT, and he showed that he has a sixth class. I'm only hoping now that someone will take him under their wing and try to see if they can get him. You know, you know, he's running good times, so he needs some work. He needs some help. I hope some people really go and help him and allow him to blossom into something that would be proud of, not only at under 20, but when he get 25. Right?
Mm.
So yes, that's my call game. And we will now call game on the court in session. So for right now, the court is adjourned.